Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be providing some clarification about the energies of yes or no regarding whatever question you have in mind about love. So you can apply this to a particular person that you're dealing with currently, somebody from your past, somebody you have your eye on, just whatever that question is for you surrounding love. I'm just going to be using tarot cards only, and then I will finish up each group with some guidance and some initials. So there are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Angelite heart, along with the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot deck. Group 2 is the Hematite heart. Along with the Mystical Tarot deck. And group 3 is the Rose Quartz heart. Along with the Gilded Tarot Royale deck. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals and the decks to help you better make your selection. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Angelite, along with the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. So let's take a look and see, are the energies and conditions favorable or not so favorable? Yes or no in regards to your question, a particular person that you're thinking of, or a situation regarding love. Okay, so we've got the Four of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, the Empress, Four of Pentacles, the Sun, and the Seven of Pentacles. So, beautiful energies here. The Sun definitely speaks to positivity. This is a very much in the direction of yes, very optimistic energy here. And with 3 out of these 6 cards being major arcana, this can definitely have the makings of a big connection, a big love for you. If you've been wondering, is this the one? Is this going to turn into something long-term or stable? That 1111 card can be that confirmation. This is often associated with like the card of marriage, for example, and partnerships. This is seen as a twin flame sign. So if that was the nature of your question, that can be that confirmation right there. Yes, this is your twin flame or a past life soulmate, high level soulmate connection. Kind of also, it's giving me the impression of the foundation that you've built with one another up to this particular point in time, a lot that has been unspoken at this point or unexpressed, or there's this uncertainty about sort of like how deeply does this person feel, is this going to get off the ground more than it has. Kind of, there's the rough framework. There's almost like the scaffolding of something that you may be in the process of trying to rebuild, or to just sort of strategize and imagine what's this going to look like moving forward. Everything may have kind of come to a halt, or you're at a place where it's a good start with somebody, but then there's uncertainty, like where does this go in the future? The Wheel of Fortune, this definitely speaks about luck and fortune and forward momentum, very positive energies of change. And the energies of change, it's then leading into the Empress, which is nurturing. This is growth. This is bounty. Again, positivity. This situation, this person, it's almost something with this kind of Seven of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. It's worth the wait. There's a lot of untapped seeds of possibility here, that it's almost kind of like go with the flow, go slowly, just accept the stage that you are in with one another at this particular point in time, because what you've experienced up to now, this is not the fullness. This is not all that there is. There's still more to come in this situation, but it's almost needing to understand that there's a season for that to grow and to develop. It can definitely be a confirmation of somebody who, really values you in a reciprocal manner in which you are valuing the situation. They may be a bit shy to express that, kind of the depth and the nature of what they're feeling. All these major arcana, this may be very overwhelming, a very activating situation for two people. And so it's something with these pentacles, though, it does feel like this person is looking to make some kind of move towards you, to express something more deeply. They see growth potential in this circumstance and situation. You bring them a lot of joy, a lot of sense of positivity. There's the energy of like harvest and bounty. And so if you have been, considering like, is this situation still worth investing in? Those kind of like seeds that you're waiting to sprout. We've got the Empress here. And so this does indicate that there'll be more of a fullness. There'll be more reward in this situation. It's kind of the energy of just watch and wait and go with the flow. Everything is going according to plan at this particular point in time. And these are very favorable energies, very bright energies of, again, like growth, positivity. This definitely is an energy here of yes for your question. Yes, in a very positive manner, that, this is something that has long-term potential. Yes, this is somebody who, has integrity to them. Even if there had been sort of difficulties in the past between the two of you, or it feels like for a lot of you, this may even be sort of like a newer situation. You're still sort of, feeling out the parameters of this circumstance, or it may even be where you're getting ready to sort of blossom and develop beyond your understanding with one another up to this point in time. And so things that haven't been expressed or have been kind of like held back, it's almost like a big conversation that wants to take place, that somebody, this other person, maybe just waiting for the right time, looking for that sign, moving through kind of some stage or step or phase of like a storminess, a fear of opening up, of really investing fully and openly in this situation. Because to shed light on what they are holding inside, it's almost their understanding that it's gonna yield this just kind of very fecund energy. It's this blossoming. It's this huge abundance that there's no putting that genie back in the bottle once that is let out. Once words are spoken, maybe this is somebody who's going to confess that they love you. They want that long-term partnership with you. They want to build and grow and develop. And so once that conversation takes place, there's no going back to the understanding between the two of you that you've been at this particular stage in time. If this is somebody that you're sensing that deep connection with, this does speak to that longevity. Sort of like the future is unknown. What you imagine as sort of the outcome in this situation, this really does have the potential to be even bigger and better than you've imagined at this point in time. And so really it kind of brings this energy back to center, back to this present moment. Not to get so tangled up in kind of the confusion or, all these possible what ifs and kind of spinning thoughts within your mind of where is this headed? How do we define each other to one another? What's the meaning of this? Are they ever going to kind of, come out and speak some sort of truth? This situation is heading in the direction of that illumination, of that clarity, of those very positive energies. And it's almost kind of a test of everyone's patience right now to sort of let that pressure build even before that point of declaration. Again, if this is a question about is this worth investing in? Does this circumstance have long-term potential? Yes, this is almost like multiple seasons of harvest. Through the seasons, this circumstance has the ability to grow. This is something that has lasting potential. This isn't just your efforts are going to yield sort of one particular result. It's almost then the result reseeds itself, and it's again and again it's producing. Kind of each phase of maybe difficulty that you go through with one another, or each phase of kind of pulling back the layers and stepping more into that energy of revelation, it becomes bigger, it becomes more satisfying each time you kind of cross these thresholds with one another. So again, what you've experienced, the fullness up to this point in time, there's more still to come that is very unanticipated. It's outside of the realm of you to fully be able to forecast that at this stage in time. And so it's this encouragement to just really trust in kind of these good vibrations that you're feeling with one another. Trust in sort of the positivity and the lighter aspects of this situation. Trust that there's enough of a foundation between the two of you. There's enough of this kind of mutual magnetism and energy to sustain this connection long into the future. Of course, there will be things in a practical sense that will need to be built. It can't just survive on chemistry and kind of love alone, or a soul connection aspect, a soul bond alone. But that element of this situation, it's a very powerful force that binds the two of you together in a very positive and productive manner. That is a basis. That is a foundation in which to build toward bounty and positivity and mutual fulfillment for the two of you. So in terms of signs with the wands, we've got fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Wheel of Fortune is mutable energy, Pisces, Cancer, I almost called that Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, so maybe a little bit of High Priestess energy kind of popping in here, a lot of hidden secrets and, things that haven't necessarily been revealed yet, but it's the idea, even tapping into that, of sort of what's hidden will be brought out into the light when the time is right. So, continue to sort of feed into this situation. This is definitely that positive confirmation that yes, that your efforts and attention in this particular matter are directed in the right way. But in terms of that mutable energy with the Wheel of Fortune, that's Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius. The Empress is Taurus and Libra. With the Pentacles, we've got Earth, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, and the Sun is Leo. So I'm going to get a couple of romance angels for you for some additional guidance about these energies, this yes confirmation for you, and then I'll close it out with some initials. Okay, we have deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So this deception, this false self-mask, this is definitely, that's tying into kind of that external energy of the High Priestess that was coming up when, in terms of the Wheel of Fortune here. So this is somebody who may not have expressed fully the nature of what they feel for you. They're holding a lot within. They're kind of remaining very quiet and closed off, but this is big energy. They see growth potential here. Whatever they've revealed to you up to this point in time, it's almost like the tip of the iceberg, or it's a ruse or a distraction. They feel a lot more passion for you than they've let on, and there's perhaps a lot of overwhelm with that. This is important energy. This is big energy. They see long term and kind of something that nourishes and sustains through the years, through the seasons of one another's lives. This is something where, with the idea with these children here on make the effort of kind of baby steps forward. So again, trying not to get very, embroiled in sort of what has been demonstrated, and the energy of a perception of lack, a sense of, even for some of you, you may be kind of feeling or perceiving that this person is holding something back, hiding something. There may be a bit of frustration that there's all this palpable passion and chemistry between the two of you, and yet it's not really necessarily gotten off the ground very far. There's a sense of that there should be more to be experienced here, and it's really talking about, just allow this situation to unfold organically. There is growth potential here, but it's something that can't be rushed. It almost needs to be taken sort of step by step. Maybe this is somebody that's very kind of guarded, very, very scared to open up their heart to you, to this idea of forever. They may see you as their counterpart, and the whole idea of, I've been searching for the one and I finally found them, when confronted with that wish fulfillment, can be a very overwhelming sensation. It's maybe somebody that's also, has practical things that they need to take into consideration before they are ready to kind of open up their life and their heart to you. So just kind of, it's almost the energy of this and that are true. Whatever they are holding back or demonstrating to you, there's validity. There's a reason behind that, whether that is motivated by shadowy aspects of them, or, just even kind of the practicalities of someone you may not know very well. You haven't known each other very long, and kind of putting in that effort and allowing the situation to develop from the ground up, to really establish a solid base with one another. What you've established so far, this is a great start. Keep going in that direction, and really trust that sort of when the time is right, that other current of reality, what they are holding within, this kind of Four of Pentacles, this truth that you're on their mind, you're in their heart. They see these signs and synchronicities and kind of these pointers from the universe that are encouraging them to sort of come out of this holding pattern and to take some sort of action. They do recognize that. They do see that, and that registers for them on a very conscious level, trusting that, the season for that illumination to take place, that will be in divine order. It will be in divine timing. There's no need to rush in this situation. Almost the idea of some kind of pressure or a timetable, that in and of itself is a deception. So kind of taking a step back from that, enjoying even this process of courting one another in this way. All of this tension between the two of you, all of this unspoken passion, what is yet to be experienced. It's almost like when this bursts forth, when this is brought out into the open, it's going to be radiant. It's going to be something that has the potential to be very next level, fulfilling for the both of you in many ways, in a sense that you can't even conceptualize at this particular point in time. This situation has the ability to be something that is beyond even your best experiences of partnership up to this point in time, kind of a love like no other. So, not leaning into sort of the idea of fear being false evidence appearing real with that idea of deception and the false mask, but, really kind of looking into the heart of the matter and taking the steps that are necessary in order to really enjoy where you are at in the present circumstance with this person right now. Maybe this is that confirmation, though, that you needed, that you're on the right track, you're on the right path. Whatever's been displayed, that is as real as whatever is being held within. But these energies do indicate that there will be forward momentum in a very positive direction. So this is a definite group here with an energy of yes. This circumstance is, whatever this is or whoever this person is, it's a very kind of, there's favorable energy, and with that divine timing, the divine is shining light, smiling down upon this situation. It's like divinely orchestrated, two people meeting, and a love story that has the ability to unfold in a very surprising and deeply fulfilling way for the two of you. So I'm going to get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Okay, we've got S, I, U, M, W, Y, L, O, C, E, Y, X, H, H, E, and V. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. And I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose the Hematite Heart along with the Mystical Tarot deck. So let's see, are the energies surrounding the situation, person, or question, are these favorable, less than favorable? Is this a yes or is this a no? Okay, so we've got the Six of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, and the Five of Swords. So these are definitely positive confirmations with all of this kind of Pentacles energy here of a foundation that you've laid with one another, or that you're sensing the possibility and the potential with somebody, like a deep soul bond, for example, or kind of this chemistry and magnetism between you and another person, that this is worth exploring on some level, or giving this more of an opportunity to develop and grow. There's long-term potential in this situation that has the ability to make the two of you very happy and fulfilled. It's almost a sense of kind of to walk away from this situation or to turn your back on the situation, maybe something where you actually find that you have cheated yourself out of the opportunity for deep emotional contentment, the likes of which you have not experienced in a partnership or a relationship before. But this is a situation where it's going to take work. It's going to take a humbling. It almost requires kind of like a step back and approaching the situation from a different angle, rather than kind of just relying purely upon the perceptions even as well of what you're seeing demonstrated on the outside. There may be one person that's kind of doing more of the heavy lifting at this particular point in time in the situation, or is more open or has more awareness about the nature of the circumstance, and there may be something where you're kind of wondering, is this always going to be the balance? Is this always going to be the dynamic between us? There's a sense of that really shifting in a certain way, but that there's an encouragement to kind of, in order to take advantage of these positive energies, of the possibility of yes, in a very concrete fashion, kind of like that happily ever after, that marriage, that partnership, that lasting love connection on both a spiritual and a material level. it's going to require more of a cooperative effort. So this is almost the energy of don't just remain very kind of like silent or stewing or brewing within yourself. That this may be an opportunity here at this particular stage of questioning that you find yourself at to renegotiate your dealings with one another, to start to really kind of shift the nature of your interactions at this point to more practical levels, to try and understand each other more deeply on a level as far as what is this that you're looking for long term in a partnership. Looking outside of the box in some way for any kind of limitations that have been expressed up to this point in time. This may be somebody who, they're giving what they can at this particular stage, but there's some aspect of their perception of capability to give more that may be dependent upon circumstances in their material world, things that they are working to build and grow and develop before they, feel in a sense ready to kind of give you all of themselves. This can also speak about trust being established between two people. And so kind of taking a step back from any sort of doubt at like a very organic or a deliberate pace, maybe somebody that you've been dealing with for quite a while, and it's taking time to grow and evolve, and you're starting to wonder, like, am I the only one that has hopes in the longevity of this situation? This may be somebody that's just trying to be very prudent in the sense of their slow approach is a demonstration of they see long-term potential, and they're wanting to make sure that you kind of get to know each other in a practical manner rather than just letting this kind of passion and feelings sort of carry you both away or to move in too quickly. It's the energy of time serving the situation very well. Needing to experience each other on kind of your best days and your worst days. That this is a key ingredient in this circumstance. And if you find yourself in a situation where this might be kind of more the difficult times, there's been some of those worst days that have surfaced, this can be that confirmation that to walk away at this particular point in time, it's almost like you might be depriving yourself of tapping into that potential, for the joy of restoration and almost this person kind of coming back around or really sort of proving your assumptions wrong in a very positive manner of the lengths they are willing to go to work beyond this kind of difficult phase or kind of this mountain that the two of you need to climb, maybe personally, internally, or in your dealings with one another. But that Ten of Pentacles, that's wish fulfillment, that's that full package in the material sense. And this Four of Wands, the card of marriage, the 1111 card, the twin flame confirmation. So for some of you, if that's the nature of this inquiry, sort of, my twin flame, my counterpart, my soulmate, whatever it is that you sort of equate with this person, any kind of definitions, is this a situation that has the ability to develop into, kind of that long-term stable partnership in the material sense with us? And these two cards, side by side do indicate, yes, this is in the range of possibility, but it's going to take work and effort, maybe even kind of split paths at this particular point in time where there are things each of you are needing to kind of balance and work on in the material world that ultimately kind of converge your roads back together further down the line. So it's almost a need to kind of invest in the energy of self at this particular point. Where have you been kind of like abandoning or you've sold yourself short in terms of, even sort of self-worth kind of aspects here, building that up, building that self-esteem, understanding that for this person, there may be a direct link between their self-esteem and their sense of security in the material world. So taking a step back from perhaps taking so personally what they are choosing to sort of approach at this stage in their journey, and really trusting in, kind of this recipe for success that is here, that if they've sort of taken a step back and they're tending to other things, or it feels to be something that's unbalanced in terms of the give and take at this point, then rather than just completely abandoning shift at this point, it's almost shifting your focus then to self, sort of what can you grow and develop and build from here? How can these triggers serve you and then ultimately the situation in a very positive manner? So these are very positive, solid, stable energies here. Really the only thing with kind of this energy of loss and defeat is the Five of Swords. But again, it kind of comes at the tail end of the spread of almost there's a need to sort of reframe how you're thinking about this situation or this person, or this dynamic, to kind of step outside of the box. Maybe a need to even detach from ideas of labels about twin flames, soulmate, union in a 3D sense, what that looks like, how that all sort of comes to pass. And it's a redirecting of those energies to the focus of self, building that core within self, becoming that love you are seeking. And then that really sort of sets the stage for positive development in this circumstance and situation. So it's two people kind of working for the same goal, wanting the same goal. Even with sort of the Six of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, maybe a little bit misaligned, or one person's a little bit further ahead. You're both kind of in alignment with this idea of Pentacle, valuing, seeing long-term potential in this situation, but sort of the place that you're at in your own growth and evolution and work you've needed to do in a spiritual sense or in the material world, that might be a little bit lopsided at this particular point in time. But since it's both of these operating in a Pentacles energy, it is very possible for that other person. It's a realistic possibility for that person to catch up to where you are. They're not operating in like a completely different element where it's going to require them to sort of complete that aspect and then leapfrog over to where you are. It's almost like somebody, even if this feels like maybe someone you walked away from, or somebody from the past, it's almost, this can be a positive indicator of somebody who's really doing the work and kind of nearing that point of re-emerging, ready to surprise you, that they've really, they've got a lot of things figured out within themselves. They finally have cultivated something spiritually and materially to where now they have something of value to offer you. And so this is the encouragement to, again, not sort of actively wait in place for this person. But if you just needed that sort of confirmation that this is the nature of the dynamic, whatever this is, however that relates, that there's growth potential here, then this can serve as that affirmative yes confirmation. But with that, it's almost then kind of, take that gem of wisdom and use your personal energies in more constructive ways, rather than kind of like worrying or expending so much energy kind of looking for the exit plan or preparing for the worst. It's almost this encouragement: prepare for the best, prepare for a very positive outcome or experience in this situation, and kind of follow suit, match your energy to wherever this individual's focus is at this point in time. If they're focused on building abundance in a material sense, you might need to focus on building abundance in a material sense, or building that self-esteem, raising the value of what you're looking for, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're expecting, starting to get very clear about this, so that when that point of conversation happens, what do we want moving forward? You've thought about this. You have some points that the two of you can then discuss. You can, work in the sense of cooperation, of like equal give and take, compromise in certain aspects, and then also really holding the line, these hard and fast truths of like, these are the non-negotiable aspects. These are the things that I'm willing to kind of bend a little bit on in order to sort of accommodate both of our personal happiness. So very positive energies here as far as this circumstance and situation. This is worth the continued kind of effort to invest, either in your layer of your spiritual path, things that you're kind of encouraged to do to grow as an individual, allowing this person the time to grow also as an individual. And then it's kind of like each of your individual patterns of growth helps the growth of the connection overall spiritually. And it's sort of like you're paving the roads individually for a conjoined path a little bit further down the road. So, and in terms of signs with the Pentacles, we've got Earth, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Wands is fire, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Cups is water, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And the Swords is air, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So I'm going to get a few romance angels for some guidance, and then I'll close it out with some initials. Okay, and we have give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership, passion, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. And playfulness, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So these are beautiful energies of guidance, really fits in well with this energy of, things are going according to plan. Just relax, breathe, go with the flow of this circumstance and situation. You might be kind of building toward this idea of foreverness with one another in different ways. And yet it does feel to be, even if this is something that hasn't necessarily been talked about out in the open, or it's something that's needing to be redefined, what that looks like. You both in this circumstance and situation have this sense within, a spiritual sense, and a very conscious imagining of one another as being wish fulfillment. And so it feels to be something where this situation, whatever this is, maybe in the process of kind of under spiritual maintenance at this particular point in time, or other facets and aspects of both of your kind of material realities that need to be honed and crafted in such a way that it's the conducive environment for the blossoming and the sustaining of this connection in a long-term sense. So the idea of playfulness is, enjoy where you are at in this particular stage, bask in this, try not to get wrapped up in so many kind of like thoughts of the future and, when's this going to take place? Is it going to fall apart? Maybe we don't want the same things. Like, have these necessary conversations, but then there's an energy here of just allowing, just basking and indulging in this, trusting in kind of the evolution of wherever you find yourself in this particular circumstance. Being that one, if you feel so guided to kind of initiate more of this passion, more of this playfulness in the situation, less of the seriousness, of kind of getting to know one another, this checklist of sort of requirements and certain conversations or topics that you're talking about. Add some fun, add some flirtation into the situation. Be that one to kind of add the spice into the circumstance, rather than, just keeping it all in kind of this practical checklist level of, things that you're looking for, things that you're wanting to avoid. There's almost this need to kind of blend both. It's the work and the play aspect here, and so that also speaks about this energy of balance. You and this individual, you do balance each other out, but with that idea tying back into kind of like the Six of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, it may be showing up in different ways. It's kind of this shared goal and this shared visioning, but just a different way of conveying it at this particular point in time. And so kind of like work in progress energy here. It's a process of recalibrating yourself to one another, getting to know one another again. If this is somebody re-emerging from the past, or somebody new that you're growing and developing with, taking that time to allow this to happen very organically and, in kind of stages, in steps, making sure that it's all not just, the business of kind of like, I want to make sure this is right, but really just enjoying that process, enjoying where you are at this particular stage, taking inventory of, kind of the structure and foundation that the two of you have created with one another, knowing that you are, headed on that road toward building something more with one another in the future. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Okay, we've got O, R, V, U, C, K, N, W, D, O, Q, I, and G. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channel letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. Chose the rose quartz heart along with the Gilded Tarot Royale. So let's see, are these energies favorable or not so favorable? Is this a yes or a no regarding a particular person, situation, question regarding love? Okay, so we have the Page of Wands, Justice, Five of Cups, Ace of Wands, the Devil, and the Ten of Wands. So there's an energy of indecision here, which for me is leaning then into the polarity of these energies not being so favorable in terms of something that is reliable and trustworthy. And it almost feels to be something that's, this Page of Wands is really giving me the energy of that it's not a full no, it's a not yet. This could be somebody you're dealing with who is burdened by a lot of kind of like fear or scars left from, circumstances that fell apart in their romantic history in the past. This may be somebody who has kind of like a fear of commitment. They're very wishy-washy or indecisive, or they're very overwhelmed by the nature of this magnetism that they feel towards you. They're drawn in your direction, but at the same time, there's almost a fear of getting it wrong. If they were to open up their heart to you, if they were to reciprocate, feelings that may be unspoken, or if they were to feed in a more positive way into the situation, it's almost somebody who may historically have gotten like taken advantage of in love, kind of once bitten, twice shy energy. And so at this particular point in time, they're operating on, again, that polarity of kind of like, fear, a bit of like a guardedness here, sort of a pessimism, expecting the worst. They're not putting their best foot forward, or what you're seeing of them at this particular point in time or in this situation and circumstance. This isn't the full range of who they are inside. It's just somebody who's kind of like dealing with a lot of unprocessed hurt and wounding, to where the timing might not be quite right in this situation for something that's going to yield results that are satisfying to you on an emotional level. There's a lot of chemistry and attraction here, and so this feels to be something where you could have a really good time with this person if you were looking for no strings attached, is kind of the energy that they're in. They're not full-blown Knight of Wands, Casanova, but this is somebody who's very distracted. They don't really know what they want. And with this card kind of facing in the opposite direction, this little page here is kind of looking away from justice, away from kind of the truth and the integrity. Somebody who, is kind of, they're sitting in a lower vibration, and they don't have a problem with sitting in that at this particular point in time. It's a comfort zone for them. It's a safety net almost. It may not be their time along their path to kind of go through a profound healing and transformative process. It may be something where, you've sparked and activated some awakening within. They're kind of like denying that or avoiding that. This may be somebody who, is just kind of, they're not really sure what they want to do in this circumstance and situation. They're very much drawn towards you, but at the same time, they are recognizing that it's going to require sort of unshouldering a burden from them, a way in which they have come to identify feelings, the nature of partnerships, with kind of the only cups, emotional energy we have is Five of Cups. This is like lack, loss, mourning, pessimism, heartbreak from the past that they've been holding on to, maybe somebody from their past that they're still really stuck on, or they're clinging to the idea of this person returning. So they're not emotionally available for you, to where, if you're just looking for a surface level connection, which more than likely, if you're watching a reading about love, you're wanting something a little more deep than that. And it just doesn't feel like this person is at the particular phase in their journey where they're ready to provide that to anyone. They're still kind of just like chasing shadows in a way, or almost, it's kind of like waiting for someone who's not going to return, and yet or it's been made very clear that maybe this other person that they still are nursing all this heartbreak for, maybe that person has moved on in their life, they're in another connection, they're married, they've started a family, whatever that looks like. And yet, this can even be like an ex-spouse, with the idea of the Justice card, somebody who's gone through a divorce and they never quite healed from that. They're still holding on to a lot of woundedness, to where they're not capable at this particular point in time of offering anything serious and long term to anyone. It's like, it's not you, it's just in general, this is sort of the phase they are in. For some, though, with this Ten of Wands, they've been in this phase for quite some time. The divorce, the breakup, this person from the past, this could have been like long-term energy that they just sunk into this pit within themselves, jaded energy almost, and they've not taken the steps to pick up the pieces to recover from that. That might be an instigating factor of your connection to this person. You are kind of this enticement. You're the carrot on the stick that the universe has provided, almost like, here's a possibility for something very different. Here's the possibility of kind of this reactivation in the heart space, the possibility to love again, or to have a very different kind of experience of love and partnership. And so they're kind of at a choice point, but standing in place, like unwilling to make a decision. It's almost like no decision is a decision with this person. They're almost choosing to just continue to sit in that vibration of sorrow, a little bit of a pity party inside. They may, though, be operating in kind of pride and ego, where they're not wanting to let that be known to anybody, where they're just kind of saying, I'm comfortable being very unattached, keeping my options open. But inside, there's a lot of kind of hurt. They do recognize on some level, it feels like, that there's a possibility or a potential of something different. Again, kind of that carrot on the stick. But it feels like, as the energy that they're in right now, they may have a lot of, anger, a lot of volatility. There's a lot of kind of like a chemical reaction in this situation, whatever this is, or whoever this person is that you're looking for this kind of confirmation for. They are aware that it's been brought to their attention, energetically speaking, of a magnetism between the two of you. But in terms of follow through on their part, they're kind of zigzagging everywhere. They don't really know what they want. They don't know if they're ready to kind of let go of that pain and fear. They're very fearful of opening up and being hurt in love again. Whatever this kind of jadedness is, it's become almost a cloak that they've worn. It's become part of their identity. And although there's this temptation now that's presented for something different, they feel very hesitant to kind of let that part of themselves go. So again, it's the energy of, at this present moment, this feels to be, no, this is not something that can yield kind of long-term satisfying results for you. It may lead to a lot of disappointment. It may lead to heartbreak for you. You may get let down by this person who may, it might be hot and heavy between the two of you, a lot of chemistry at this particular point in time, but then when it comes time to establish something more stable, when it comes time to sort of lean into the energies of emotions, that's where the disappointment comes. That's where this person may be prone to kind of run or just kind of keep this at arm's length, sort of push this away. If this is somebody who has already run from you, then again, this confirmation of kind of they've not been doing the healing work. Time has passed and they're still kind of right. Even though they may have run, they're right where you left them, is what this really feels like. They've just been kind of going through the motions, just hanging on to, whatever this aspect, whatever this thing was within themselves, that they were unwilling to look at, unable to address. And so again, it kind of then begs the question of, something that's kind of just hanging in the balance at this particular point in time, and the contributing factor that this individual, it feels like, that they make, it's not in the direction of restoration in this situation. It's not in the direction of reciprocity. So this may be something where you're then almost perhaps encouraged, or you get that confirmation that, if you are looking for something beyond just sort of surface level connection, something very, again, like no strings attached, not a lot of emotional depth to the situation, then this would be a perfect person to invest in, or to continue to hold space for, to continue to kind of deal with and participate with. But if you're looking for something of more quality, more substance, more longevity, then it feels like at this stage, or perhaps, just in general, it's not to be found in the situation with this person. They're not ready yet. They still have some growth or evolution to do. And as this page is kind of facing away from all of this, there may be somebody operating in a lot of denial. Addictions may be a factor. They're almost addicted to their heartbreak at this particular point in time, or somebody who's kind of in the energy of a player. They've been hurt, and so they don't want to get too involved with anybody. So kind of forewarned is forearmed. As much as you're willing to invest in this situation, it may be something then that this is where you're needing to kind of keep that barrier and that perspective. And, if you start to catch feelings for this person, that might, or if you already have caught feelings for this person, this may be that guidance and advice that it's kind of just going to be a road to heartbreak based on where they are at right now, kind of the vibration they're operating at. They're kind of in it for a good time, not for a long time, not just in terms of you in this situation. This just feels to be kind of the vibration that they're at, maybe in terms of their life in general at this point. A lot of avoiding things, and a lot of just kind of not really having any place to land, a lot of kind of chaotic energy, that it seems to be something that's sort of, any harmony might be short-lived between the two of you. And it's just kind of at this stage, the emotional kind of back and forth, whatever you've sensed or experienced so far, that's the accurate portrayal of kind of the long-term energies of this situation. Until some sort of change occurs on this person's part, this is as much as they can give you, is kind of that energy of the back and forth, or the not knowing, or kind of the disappointment. Red flags as well is another energy here, especially with these two cardinals. So if you've been seeing red flags, and this feels to be something where for a lot of you, with this kind of, the energies are not so favorable, this would be a no. It's like you already know that. And so this may be that final confirmation that you need, that kind of, that balance, that final sort of weight in the scale, to where maybe you're going to start to detach from this person, and kind of look elsewhere. If you're seeking something of more substance and value, this might not be the situation for you. So in terms of signs with the wands, we've got fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and the cups is water, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, and justice is Libra. So I'm going to get some romance angels just to get some more guidance for you about the situation, and then I'll close it out with some initials. Okay, so we have wedding. This situation involves marriage. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So this guidance does speak to potential in this situation. Like, this is not a totally lost cause, but this is going to require a lot of healing. It feels like on this person's part, and in some way maybe kind of backing off of your expectations of what they're capable of giving you at this particular point in time. Again, that Page of Wands is really bringing forth the energy of, it's a not yet, rather than kind of like a hard and fast no, this is just an absolute wash, it's a waste of time. It's almost just, where this person is at right now, energetically speaking, they can't give you more than what they have at this particular point in time. But there has been something that has been sparked or activated and awakened, and it now requires action steps on their part to release, maybe even with that idea of like wedding, and the situation involves marriage, and we had the justice card, and the loss, kind of heartbreak from past relationships, pessimism, skepticism, something within resulted from maybe a marriage or marriages or long-term partnerships that fell apart in the past, that have led them to go to this place of kind of trying to outrun their pain by being in this very unattached, very kind of flitting from flower to flower kind of energy is sort of what they are in. It's like a childlike energy, that there's some kind of emotional maturity, some kind of healing that needs to take place. And then on the other side of all of this, emphasis on the idea of this could be the one. At this particular stage that they are in, it feels to be like you're wanting, there's a lot of chemistry and magnetization, but it's almost you're capable of giving very different things to one another. You bring balance, you bring, again, this kind of perspective of otherness to this person, but it requires them kind of peeling themselves out of some vibration of just unattached energy, or not getting too emotionally involved. It requires a stepping up on their part, in order to be able to be that adequate match that you're looking for. It's almost the idea of like union within self, the idea of oneness and wedding. Two people who really need to focus on becoming the yin to their own yang before they can even entertain the possibility of being that to one another. So it's not totally lost cause energy. It may just be something where in the situation you may need to kind of adjust your perspective or your idea of how circumstances play out. This may be a task or a test to really, learn to kind of meet people where they are, accept them for where they are, but then really search within and say, is this long term? Is this very sustainable? Is this something that is kind of worth the patience, or worth the effort, or, kind of worth the involvement? Is this something that serves my highest good, or might I need to sort of set my sights elsewhere for that type of depth of emotional partnership that I'm looking for in another individual? So this could be something, again, where it's sort of like triggers you both into this kind of energy of separateness. If you're leaning into that place of, it's 10 of Wands, it's too burdensome, it's best to kind of just let this go, let the idea of this go, or disconnect in dealing with this person. That might be the motivation that's necessary, spiritually speaking, kind of realizing what you have now that it's gone, for them to start to do the work within. You taking steps outside of that to do the work within yourself may then align you with that type of partner that you are seeking. But it's almost like the idea as well here with this guidance, with the mature energies of wedding, and this could be the one. And then in the middle here, we've got these two children with make the effort, that it's kind of like, there's possibility and potential here, but what they're presenting as is just kind of, it's a fragment of what they hold within, or what they're capable of stepping into. But it requires kind of really searching within, kind of that, great love is worth the steps you're guided to take that step back and to see, is this potential enough to sort of justify further investment in this? Is this something that is satisfying to me immediately or in a long-term sense, while I give this person the opportunity to kind of grow and develop and really come into their own? Or is this something that it may require that very sort of difficult decision to detach from somebody who in so many ways feels that they could be the one, and yet they are presenting as just kind of an aspect of that, an untapped potential of that raw, unformed material that they individually need to work with within themselves in order to fully embrace and step into that. So this is something that it almost feels the guidance is to kind of like revisit this further down the road, or kind of take it down a notch as far as what you are imagining that this person is able to give you at this particular point in time. Never say never would be kind of an energy here, but it feels to be something that it's they're not yet in that place to kind of give you what you want or what you need, and it remains very unclear. Definitely free will being a choice, and some long-term kind of wounds within that they're needing to kind of unshoulder and sort of grow beyond before they are actually, in a practical sense, able to sort of deliver you something other than just raw chemistry and passion. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Okay, we've got V, C, H, H, F, B, Y, B, F, R, U, E, S, C, D, M, V, and I. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.